Hi, my name is Trina Escarziga, and I'm a student at California Baptist University. I'd like to share with you some incredible books that will bring the Revolutionary War to life for your 5th and 6th grade students. The first book is called The Fighting Ground by Avi. It is the story of Jonathan, a 13-year-old who wants to fight in the Revolutionary War. This story takes place in one day and sees Jonathan from an eager warrior to seeing the horrors of war and trying to do what he can to keep his humanity in a terrible situation. This book has received numerous children's literature awards, including a Newbery Medal, the Scott Odell Award for Historical Fiction, and is an ALA, a notable book. This fictional story will help draw your students into the time of the Revolutionary War with a character they can relate to and help create questions in the classroom about this important era of American history. One of those questions is bound to be, why was Jonathan so excited about going to war? This opens up discussions on precursory events that embolden the colonist. What is the Boston Tea Party by Kathleen Kroll, illustrated by Lauren Mortimer, is a beautiful and engaging book that explains the time and the circumstances which led up to the Boston Tea Party and the immediate repercussions that led to the Revolutionary War. The story is easy to read and full of facts and people who were so important in the founding of our nation. Perhaps one of the most important of our founders is George Washington, Revolutionary General, brave soldier, and our first president. This book, Who Was George Washington, by Roberta Edwards and illustrated by Drew Kelly, is in the same style as the Boston Tea Party book, with great illustrations and a flowing story which will engage your students. It talks about George Washington from his life as a youth through the war and his presidency and to his death. Another question would be, who else was involved? That brings us to our next book, Why We Fought: Key People in the Revolutionary War by Patrick Cattell. This book gives brief biographies of other important figures in the Revolutionary War from both sides. The biographies are separated by which side of the war they fought on, and a special chapter for important women of the Revolutionary War. This will help your students gain perspectives from both sides of the war. Our next book will continue to help your students learn that there are two sides of a battle. A Split History of the American Revolution by Michael Bergen is a two-sided book where one side is the story of the American patriots' point of view, while the flip side is from the British perspective. This will help your students realize that there are real decisions made by real people where both sides felt that they were right. In our final book, I feel your students will get to put everything together and make those decisions themselves. The Revolutionary War, an interactive history adventure by Elizabeth Romm, is a choose-your-own-adventure type story where the three main paths are stories of real people making real decisions during the Revolutionary War. Students will get to make choices which lead them to one of 16 different endings. This helps place the students in the war and ties it back to our story of Jonathan, making real connections to people whose lives were forever changed by war. I believe this set of books will be a great resource to you as you teach the 5th and 6th grade students early American history in an engaging and exciting way. Thank you for your time.